All right, so here's what I'm going to be doing. So I am going to be talking about the thoughts of two pundits who you guys are aware of, Tomi Lahren and Candace Owens. They're not really in any relation to each other in this. I'm just going to be going over some of the dumb things that they said on Twitter that I wanted to address because I think that it really goes to showing how dumb they are, how dumb Tomi Lahren is, as well, especially how dumb Candace is. Holy smokes! I mean, I think it used to be basically or Tomi Lahren was in the clear lead as to her being dumber, or her being the dumbest, I should say. But that was before Candace came on the scene. Once Candace came on the scene, oh my gosh, that just went totally out the window. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna show you guys here too. But you have to check out Joe Rogan's debate with Candace Owens on climate change. It's not too crazy of a watch, but trust me, you won't get bored because it's so engaging that it's impossible to click off once you start listening to it because the stuff that she says is so ridiculous that you truly get pulled in. Um, and so, despite them not saying this in person, these are tweets that we're going to be looking at because I think they're interesting. So, this one is from Tomi Lahren. So there was a horrible tragedy that happened in Thousand Oaks, and also with fires going on. And so she basically sent out a tweet. Tomi Lahren did. This is Tomi Lahren's tweet. Said, thinking about and praying for California tonight. The tragedy and the fires are absolutely devastating. It's been a rough week here in the Golden State. So can we take a second here to acknowledge something really quick? And I've done this before. And the question that I sort of pose is, if California is as bad as these people claim, and I'm being very specific in who I'm talking about here because Ben Shapiro has been on the mark for calling it out, saying that it's horrible and it's the worst and it sucks. I guess at least I think he was born in California. I believe he was born and raised in California. So I guess that can be a reason. But still, even then. But Tomi Lahren is a total, like, there's no excuse because it's like, all right, you spent your entire, I think she moved to California. I'm pretty sure. She definitely moved to LA. I know that for a fact. And so what you're talking about is you constantly vilify this state for being super left. And you're like, oh, this state sucks and it's horrible. Then why did you go out of your way to move there? Well, all that would tell us is you're deeply wrong, and really it's actually the better place because you voluntarily chose to relocate there. So why would you voluntarily choose to relocate there if it's in any way inferior to the location you were previously at, or essentially any other location? And so that's something that I think is pretty darn hilarious, if you ask me. So Tomi Lahren sent out that tweet, and basically someone responded to this saying, "We don't need your prayers. We people like you to share info like this. Word needs to get out." And so it was what was included in this tweet was a tweet to information of where to evacuate for people who are in danger with the fires going on. And basically, uh, someone someone else responded to this saying, "Why do prayer wishes trigger so many bourgeoisie liberals?" Um, or sorry, it might be bourgeois liberals. They can't let it go. If you're mostly agnostic, as I am, or a radical atheist. Radical? What is that? What's a radical atheist? Just be kind and understand that when someone of faith says thoughts and prayers, it's an escape clause. It's kindness. So this is sort of an overarching thing, which is that all that's really offered by the right wing whenever something bad happens, you never actually get a solution to anything. What you get is thoughts and prayers. And how many times can these things happen, right? How many times can these tragedies happen where there's a massive tragedy? How many of these can happen before you actually offer up a solution of some sort instead of just thoughts and prayers? Like, how many of these happen before you actually give us something of substance that's not, I'm thinking about these people because let me tell you the truth, and I don't know if they know this or not, but that's not doing anything for anybody. Literally no one. No one, I tell you, no one, not a single person is being affected by your thoughts and prayers. Your thoughts and prayers are entirely useless. They don't help in any way, shape, or form. They're a complete joke. And so she responded saying, I can offer my prayers and help get the word out. Happy to do it. Do you need to be so nasty and rude? Does that help anything? I mean, the person had a point, dude. Like, you're just saying, like, you have your thoughts and prayers out there, and she does this every time something happens, except for when it's a brown person. When it's a brown person, we have to do something immediately about it. But when it's not a brown person, then you get my thoughts and prayers. That's my gift to you. And she co-signed the tweet where it was questioning why prayer wishes trigger so much from bourgeois liberals, which is obviously because you're not actually in any way proposing any solution or help. You're just, saying some made up stuff that doesn't actually do anything. So that is the moronic behavior of Tomi Lahren. Now let's switch over to the moronic behavior of Candace Owens. This one is hilarious, by the way. This happened on election day. It says, what I learned this election. No one cares what Taylor Swift thinks. No one cares what Oprah thinks. No one cares what Diddy thinks. No one cares what Rihanna thinks. But celebs still keep telling us who to vote for because there's no known cure for narcissism. So, there are multiple funny things about this. A, the Democrats took over the House, so I don't understand the idea of where did you come to that conclusion? Because if you were to come to that conclusion, this is empirically false, obviously, right? Some people care about that. A lot of people, actually, which I don't think that's really a good thing. But the point here being is it's just an empirically false statement. But also, how could you make that statement after the Democrats took over the House in a solid victory, like a solid win? And wins are still being racked up. I mean, Cinema just took it. Dana lost. I forgot who her opponent was, but Dana lost his seat. And so you're talking about wins still being stacked up, recounts still going on. This is obviously a knee-jerk dumb reaction, partially because of bad framing of debate by the left, and bad framing of the Overton window, basically. But the craziest part about this, right, is that who are Candace Owens' two biggest heroes? Donald Trump and Kanye West. What are those two people? What are those two people? Are they average, everyday Americans? Hardworking Americans? Are they academics? I don't know. No, buddy. They're celebrities. They're not anything but celebrities. They are 100% celebrities. So the unwitting irony of saying this statement when your person that you praise the most, Donald Trump, for everything you defend, I don't know if she's ever been critical of Donald Trump, right? So that person is a celebrity. And this is always the hilarious part of the right, especially considering the history of the modern history of the Republican Party. Remember, Reagan was an actor. So this idea that the Republican Party is in some way against celebrities for their president, oh, please, spare me. And when you have Donald Trump being the celebrity, the reality TV show host, you look like a moron when you say that because you're so damn wrong. It's insane. So, again, Candace Owens, I mean, this is just so blatant. Like, anybody with two brain cells to rub together would be able to see that and be like, you know what? I probably should not send this out because it's just so unbelievably dumb that it doesn't make sense. Now, here's another one. So, Representative Jerry Nadler, he sent out a tweet. He said, Americans must have answers immediately as to the reasoning behind Donald Trump removing Jeff Sessions. Why is the president making this change, and who has the authority over Special Counsel Mueller's investigation? We will be holding people accountable. Yep, that sounds like a pretty fair question, because we know that Jeff Sessions has been hated, absolutely hated, by Donald Trump. Because he recused himself from the Russia investigation, and ever since then, Donald Trump's been lambasting him. We know that he's hated him. He's publicly critiqued him and publicly criticized him, and we know from insider reports that they hate each other at this point. And so it's important question as to why that is, because there are serious questions as to whether or not obstruction of justice charges can be made by Congress to impeach. And that's a very serious question, and this goes back to precedent, right? Remember President Nixon, one of the charges made against him amongst the other few as well, or I should say other many. I remember abuse of power was one of them, But they also, one of them was obstruction of justice because he fired, remember, he fired the people who were investigating him. Like, that's hilarious, dude. So here's what Candace Owens responded to that tweet with. This is the genius we're dealing with here. The quote reasoning is because he is the president of the United States and he has the constitutional authority to do so. Please let me know if this satisfies your elementary school civics question or if you need an American 6-year-old to further explicate. Congressman. Throwing in explicate to try to sound smart. Yeah, Candace, you are very dumb. This is hilarious. And the craziest part about this is this tweet has 35,000 likes and 12,000 retweets, which basically means that these are bots because either the Republican Party is so stupid that they are able to endorse such moronic tweets, or these are bots. And I'm leaning towards bots because I have faith in humanity, which you guys may be like, oh, you have faith in humanity at this point? Which you may be right on that. I could get the scoffing. But here's the thing, and this is why I mean Candace is dumb, because she doesn't understand basic stuff, right? The question posed by Jerry Nadler was not, the question wasn't, it was not, can he do, it's not why can he do it. The question is, why did he do it? There's a difference, a very obvious difference between the rationalization of why you can do something and the rationalization for why you did something. You could have the right to do something and then do something, but you have to answer why you did that. And the response can't be because I can. That's not a rationalization of the question at hand. And so the answer of the reasoning is because he's the president of the United States and has the constitutional authority to do so. No one is asking the question of where does the authority come from? No one's asking the question of why does he have the authority to do so, or where is the authority? Nobody is asking that question, Candace. The question being asked here is why did he do it? Because there's intent involved here. If Donald Trump removed Jeff Sessions because he wanted to thwart the Mueller investigation, we got real issues at hand, and those are easily impeachable charges, which there are already multiple impeachable charges, one of them being in violation of the emoluments clause and the other one being obstruction of justice. So this would be a surefire charge for impeachment. By the way, I still wouldn't advocate impeachment because Mike Pence would be worse, but I'm speaking strictly of whether we have grounds to do it or not, which we do, and this would be more. And so, as you know, going back to precedent with Richard Nixon, this is an important thing that we have to look at, because the question is why he did it, not if he has the power. So let me repeat this once again just so you can realize how dumb this is. So Nadler says Americans must have answers immediately as to the reasoning behind removing Jeff Sessions. Why is the president making this change, and who has the authority over Special Counsel Mueller's investigation? We will be holding people accountable. And Candace Owens responds saying, the quote reasoning is because he is the president of the United States and he has the constitutional authority to do so. Candace, that's not the reason why he did it. That's the reason why he can do it. I feel like I'm reading the thoughts of a child. Honestly, I really do. And you want to know the worst part about this? She throws on, please let me know if this satisfies your elementary school civics question. The person who sounds like a 6-year-old is attempting to pontificate and attempting to state that, you know, she's the one who is talking to a toddler. Candace, there was no civics question. The tweet didn't contain a civics question. There is no civics question. There is none. The question is why he did it, not why can he do it. This is frustrating, man. This legitimately angers me. Like, when I read these tweets from Candace Owens, it triggers me for a few reasons, but the main one being that she has so much traffic and likes and retweets, and I'm convinced they're bots. And I wish someone would do like some sort of, I don't know, someone could do like an investigation or like an analysis into how many of these are bots. But it's amazing to me that someone this unbelievably unintelligent can have this much traction on Twitter, and it pisses me off, because I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm reading the thoughts of a child. Like, these are not coherent thoughts. Are you kidding me? You're trying to answer the question of why he did it with why he can do it? Someone does something and you go, hey, why'd you do that? Because I can. What? That's not why you did it. What are you talking about? That's why you can do it. That's a total different thing, totally different thing. And obviously, we know the reason why Trump got rid of Jeff was because he recused himself for the Russia investigation. And by the way, he appointed an acting AG who I think is being like investigated by the FBI or something like that. This dude's a clown. His goofy son is about to be in an orange jumpsuit. That's the reason why he did it. He's scared. He's afraid. Está asustado. Tiene miedo. He's scared. He's afraid his son's going to be in an orange jumpsuit, and then he's going to be there too. Orange is the new orange. Orange man in orange clothes. And that's the reason why he's trying to thwart the Mueller investigation. So there's a key difference between, yes, Candace, he is able to do it because he has congressional authority. Yes, you are correct. You are correct in your very basic civics question. But that's not the issue at hand. That's a total non sequitur here. Okay? The question is why he did it. And intent is extremely important in these kinds of cases, as we know with Richard Nixon, because obstruction of justice is by all counts an impeachable charge. Additionally, that also coincides and I want to say collides with the idea of abuses of power. So it is unbelievable. And again, I have to end this off by letting you know you have to go and watch Joe Rogan and Candace debate climate change, because you will have a permanent facepalm, but you'll be educated on how ridiculously unintelligent Candace Owens is.